Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing another movie review for you all. This movie is a thriller from the United States, English language, released in the year 2022, directed by Damien Power. This film is called No Exit. So No Exit is about a storm that hits this area of the United States. It's a blizzard, and this woman who's travelling across the country to see her dying mother has to stop at this rest stop because it's just too dangerous to go on. So when she gets inside there are a number of other people who are suffering from the same problem. But then when she goes out to check her cell phone reception, she realises in one of the vans parked there is a kidnapped girl. So one of the people inside the rest stop are actually the kidnappers, and so she has to try and find out who it is and at the same time try and save this girl before it's too late. So whether or not she can is something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on No Exit. This is a movie that really captured me with the synopsis. I actually really like the idea of it, you know, a kidnapping sort of thriller where, you know, you don't know who the kidnapper is and being really stuck in a confined area. I thought that's definitely the premise of a very interesting story, and so I thought, what would this one have up in store for us? Would this be a character drama, or would it be more of a fun sort of thriller? So hoping that it was going to be a fun thriller after seeing the trailer, I thought, alright, well, maybe this one is going to be a hidden gem. So after watching the film, I will say that it is not the worst movie out there, but it was far from anything impressive. I thought as though it was a very generic film, and it could have been really good if it kept its ace up its sleeve, which is something I'll go into a little bit later. But I really liked the setting of this diner in the middle of nowhere. It's a very isolated atmosphere. It's a very claustrophobic atmosphere. The danger is present, and the first quarter of this movie I thought was really well done. I never really knew who the kidnappers were and what was going to happen, and whether or not this lady was actually going to save this girl and at the same time save her own life. And so not knowing who it is, you don't know where the danger is coming from, and I thought the first quarter of this movie really upped the ante as far as strong tension is concerned, which really set a platform to really leap off in the latter stages of the film. I thought the acting was somewhat okay. I thought the characters didn't really have too much with them, but what they had, I thought they used it fairly decently, and I thought as though there were some set pieces that actually hit me by surprise, and there were actually twists and turns in the film. Although the movie has issues with its formula, I thought there were still moments that actually surprised me with where the movie actually goes, and so that was fairly decent. So I thought overall it is a fairly decent film, but decent is where I would leave it, and this is where the issues come with the movie, is that it is decent. It is generic, and it does stay confined within you've seen one, you've seen them all. The movie doesn't really have a heart of its own, but the first quarter of the film promises something a little bit different, but then it uses its aces, and when it uses its aces it's way too early, and this is where the movie really goes down familiar territory, and because it's so early on in the film, it really prevents you from enjoying it as much as you would. As I said, the promise of the first quarter is very unpredictable, but when you actually know what's going on, then this is where all of the tropes come in, and this is where all, you know exactly what's going to happen, and so that was definitely the most unfortunate part of the film. I thought the acting was it was okay for what they had. You know, the characters have no development. I didn't care about the main character's plight. This is definitely a movie that should have been a situational horror film instead of being this movie that was trying to gain a connection to this main character, but there's just not enough content behind this character and enough emotion in this character to really care for what was going on. The little girl that was kidnapped, I thought, alright, I didn't really care if she actually made it, but as I said, the first quarter of the movie, it's the who is this kidnapper that was the most intriguing aspect, but then they use it up and they identify where the threat's coming from, and this is, as I said, that ace that has been used up way too soon. So it just meanders along in what is a forgettable movie. But if you see it late on TV one day and you got nothing else to watch, then it's definitely not the worst 90 odd minutes that you could spend. But unfortunately for me, I just wanted a lot more. I thought as though it could have been a lot better if it actually held on to the uncertainty. But once it actually paints it in black and white, you know exactly what you're up against, and this is where the movie really does start to fall down. So it is a very generic film. You know exactly what's going to happen. You've seen them before. I thought the setting and the overall environment of the really cold and harsh setting was good. It had the opportunity to really capitalise upon those positives, but unfortunately it does take the safe route, and it does emulate what you've seen time and time again. So it's not terrible, but unfortunately not the best. I'm going to give No Exit 2 stars. Alright guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later.